We come now to Group 7, payment to or in respect of certain person infected with hepatitis C. I call Amendment 31 in the name of the Minister, grouped with Amendments 34 and 35. Minister to move Amendment 31.
Presiding Officer, I'll speak to Amendments 31, 34 and 35. Members will appreciate that these amendments introduce a separate issue to the bill, and I'll explain in the course of my remarks why we've taken the opportunity to introduce these amendments today. Amendment 31 proposes changes to Section 28 of the Smoking, Health and Social Care Scotland Act 2005. Members will recall that that section of the 2005 Act allows Scottish ministers to make a scheme for the making of payments to certain persons infected with hepatitis C as a result of NHS treatment with blood and blood products. The scheme currently adopted by Scottish ministers under that provision is operated by the Skipton Fund, and this operates on a UK-wide basis. New support provisions for this group were announced for England on the 10th of January 2011. Scottish ministers, having discussed this issue with patient representatives, are currently deciding what arrangements should be put in place here in Scotland, and will make an announcement on that shortly. However, if it is the case that we decide to announce similar arrangements in due course, what will happen is that a new group of eligible persons, i.e. relatives of patients who died prior to August 2003, will be introduced. So these amendments to the 2005 Act need to be put in place before support can be provided to any newly eligible persons. Now, as I said, we have still to announce our final policy intentions around this. But it is nevertheless prudent that we make the amendments to the 2005 Act now. If approved, they will mean that any future policy decisions we do make to make payments to newly eligible groups can be implemented without having to wait for another legislative opportunity to amend the 2005 Act. The first such opportunity after this one would, at the earliest, obviously be in the next session, and that would be much later this year. So passing these amendments today will avoid what could amount to a considerable delay before any newly eligible claimants could apply for support. I hope Parliament will support these amendments. I did take the opportunity of briefing the opposition spokespeople prior to lodging these amendments so that they understood the intention. I know Parliament has debated the issue of those infected with hepatitis C as a result of NHS treatment on many occasions in the past, and I hope that members will see the need for these amendments today and give them their wholehearted support. I therefore move Amendment 31.
Jackie Baillie.
Officer, I'm happy to say that Labour members support the amendments 31, 34 and 35 in the Cabinet Secretary's name, and thank her for the briefing in advance of this debate. Although I recognise this might not be the most appropriate legislative vehicle, it has the benefit of being quick, and timing is all in politics. I believe it is right that those infected with hepatitis C as a result of treatment by the NHS with blood or blood products should be compensated. Can I, though, ask the Cabinet Secretary, if she's able to do so, to detail the likely funding impact that this will have, over which number of years, and whether it's being identified from within the health budget?
Finnie.
Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. I also rise to indicate Liberal Democrat support for these amendments and also express my gratitude to the Cabinet Secretary for the briefing on this subject. Like Jackie Baillie, I think it is right and proper that the earliest opportunity should be taken to introduce these following the changes that were announced. Now, I understand the propriety of the Cabinet Secretary requiring to have a legislative framework before the Cabinet Secretary could make an announcement, but I think, like Jackie Baillie, I am earnestly hoping that this is being done on the premise that, all being well, the Cabinet Secretary will be able to come to this chamber and make an announcement that she's going to utilise the provisions which I'm sure Parliament will approve today.
Cabinet Secretary,
I thank both Jackie Baillie and Ross Finnie for their support for these amendments. I appreciate that I'm asking for enabling powers through these amendments, and we need to have those enabling powers in order to make payments to any group that are not currently eligible. As I said in my earlier remarks, I haven't yet announced our policy intention. I should say we were not as fully consulted as I would have liked us to have been prior to the Department of Health announcement, and we've made our views on that known. But I wanted to do two things before announcing our intention. Firstly, as Ross Finnie has indicated, make sure that we had the right legislative framework in place, but secondly, take the views of patient representatives, because I think it's fair to say, without quoting any particular group or individual, that there are differences of opinion about the adequacy of what has been announced south of the border. So we wanted to take some time to consider carefully the implications and what the right move would be for the Scottish Government. I will announce our intentions around this as soon as I possibly can. In response to Jackie Baillie's question, there will be financial implications. Obviously, I can't say exactly what those financial implications will be in advance of deciding the package that we will agree, but we may well be talking in the first year of implementation of a financial implication of up to £10 million. Obviously, that money will require to be found within existing budgets, and whatever we decide to implement, we will take care to ensure that it's fully funded.
The question is that Amendment 31 be agreed to. Are we all agreed? Amendment 31 is agreed. I call Amendment 32 in the name of Richard Simpson. Moved. The question is Amendment 32 be agreed. Are we all agreed? Amendment 32 is agreed. I call Amendment 33 in the name of the Minister.
Moved.
The question is Amendment 33 be agreed. Are we all agreed? Amendment 33 is agreed. I call Amendment 34 in the name of the Minister. Minister to move.
Moved.
The question is Amendment 34 be agreed. Are we all agreed? Amendment 34 is agreed.